and welcome to the Samoan Horse Healer. Hey everyone, Maria the Samoan Horse Healer here, and today I thought I'd talk to you about how to find the right horse trainer for you on your equestrian journey. We'll chat about what I look for in a horse trainer, and we'll even get to speak with one of my greatest mentors and equestrian trainers, Kari McClain. She's an FEI 4-star dressage judge and was a great influence on my equestrian journey. Then we'll chat about questions and considerations to bring to the table when you are looking for an equestrian coach. All right, let's chat about what I look for in a horse trainer and things that I find super important for myself. For me personally, I really like to find a trainer that does nurture me a little bit. Like, I do have the occasional trainer that I like to get a good butt kicking from. But I do need somebody in my life that will help kind of give me confidence and is also just delusional enough to think that my dreams are also a reality. Important things that I also look for in a trainer are somebody that has a good reputation, a coach that has integrity and values honesty, somebody that prioritizes the happiness and health of the horse and rider. I look for somebody that uses ethical training methods in alignment with my own philosophies and standards of care. I look for a coach that communicates well, is respectful and consistent. And then for my own goals, I do want to eventually get to the Olympics one day to represent Samoa in dressage. So for me personally, I'll specifically be looking more for the dressage upper level judges that have an idea what a winning ride looks like, and kind of all of the pieces that one would need to manifest success in the show ring. Hey everyone, Maria here with another Midnight Rose LLC production of Samoan Horse Healer. Today we're at World Equestrian Center and I get in the judge's box with Kari McClain. She's an FEI 4-star judge, breeder, trainer, barn owner of Miari Stables. So follow along our interview and make sure that you like, follow, subscribe. Check us out online at www.midnightrosellc.com and follow us along for our interview. What do you actually look for in a mentor for yourself? Like when you look for somebody to ride, since you've been so educated?
I look for somebody that is a good teacher. I'm very critical about teaching. I always want to be a better teacher, so I'm looking for someone who's a good teacher, not just an Olympic medal or a good rider, because you can be a good rider or a good trainer or a good teacher or a good, competitor. You can be good at a lot of things, but not necessarily good at teaching. And you could also be not having an Olympic medal or be the best rider, but be a super teacher. So I look for someone who's a good teacher, but also has trained a lot of horses and a lot of riders of a lot of different types. They're not just getting horses that are trained and doing something with them. They're not just getting riders that already knew everything, And so at every level, I guess I've looked for what I needed. Like once I became a proficient rider, then I was looking for someone who's the next level of polishing or coaching or whatever. But at the lower levels, and I had my mom, who was a knowledgeable horse person, certainly guided my early years of looking for the right step at the right time, that we needed along the way. And also, it changed over the years because I came from just riding and then 4-H and then pony club background, but it was always building. So I think what I was looking for depended on what I was doing at the time. Was I riding Western? Was I doing trail? Was I doing halter? Was I doing eventing? I mean, it changed over time. And I guess when I found dressage, I always knew, even as a young person, that's where I would end up.
Yeah.
Eventually, because I loved it. But I always looked for what the next step was for that. And I still now, if I take lessons, I look for someone who's a good teacher and has a good eye and has a good, doesn't just cookie cutter lesson. Everybody's lesson is very tailored to them, their horse, the realities of whatever the conformation or temperament of the horse and rider are, and what's a chewable chunk that you can accomplish, and that I've seen them be able to do with
Right.
horses and riders. And then the same with judging. I mean, I look for people who are successful judges, but also good at sharing that, in a positive way.
Right.
But positive doesn't mean not being able to give you, constructive criticism.
Right.
So,
welcome to Midnight Rose Equestrian LLC, located in Citra, Florida. Are you looking for a place where you and your horse can find peace, harmony, healing, and performance? Do you struggle with confidence, balance, or communicating with your equine friends? Do you want to make this year the year that you achieve your horse dreams? Here at our beautiful 19-acre farm, we offer horse training, sales, and rehabilitation, equestrian coaching services, clinics, and events. We also offer equine bodywork and licensed massage bodywork for our human folks at the farm in our established office. We also offer mobile massage services throughout Florida. So make sure to contact us if you want to see us. We believe in ethical and balanced healing centered around good communication, compassionate touch, and respect. Our farm features beautiful old oaks enclosing our farm in a cove of peace and privacy and offering shaded trails to explore. We have 8 oversized matted 12 by 14 stalls, private turnout pens for each horse, 60 by 200 full-size dressage court, round pen, and high-quality premium hay from Colorado, and your feed and supplements that we can feed twice daily. My goal is to help people achieve their horse dreams, gain confidence, and develop balanced partnerships in the saddle, on the ground, and throughout life. Contact 253-670-0386 to ask more about our services or to come for a visit. Hi, this is Maria, the Samoan horse healer, and I thought we could chat today about imposter syndrome. So imposter syndrome tends to be when you have a lot of self-doubt and you're not that confident and you kind of celebrate all of your little wins, and I definitely have issues with that. I think it's especially relevant in the horse world because a lot of us wear all of the hats. In my case, I happen to be a single mother, a farm owner, a business owner, a pet mom, a poop scooper, a massage therapist for horses, a massage therapist for people, a coach for humans, a trainer for horses. And so it's really easy to kind of get lost in the like, who am I? Who am I? And especially in the horse world, like I, as you can see, am a brown person. And most of the people that I started out around were white. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but there's not a lot of representation for us brown people out there. And then the other fun thing is that my name is Maria. And so automatically, if you're a brown person in the horse world, many would assume that I am Mexican. However, Samoan horse healer. Ta-ta! And so, yeah, I kind of joke with people about how Christianity hit the islands about the same time as it hit Mexico. And so, haha, Maria. I even got the island tattoo to just hone it in there. But it's really hard for me, or it has been hard for me, to kind of integrate that into my life and get confident in the things. And it's crazy because I have a farm like this and I am a licensed massage therapist and do all of the things, but I still feel less than. And so because of this, it is super important to find a coach that can kind of help give you confidence, especially in the horse world when you have to be the confident member of the team so that you can steer your lovely, lovely horse into whatever fun situation that you're getting into. And so I've had an amazing coach who was able to kind of help me out of my funk. And so stay tuned to come check out my interview with Miss Kari McClain.
I would say that it's just, my goal is always to be a positive influence on people and to help them grow as people in a positive way through the vehicle of horses.
Yeah.
That's the thing I've always aspired to be the most. And whether that's their riding, whether that's just in their lives as people in their career, their whatever, that the thing they bring, that they learn through the vehicle of horses or judging or, competing or training, that's mostly what I want to do, is just help them grow as people,
Right.
to be happier as people.
I might cry because that's like the main thing that you did for me. Because just the confidence piece was always a problem for me, just being a brown person, having the thoroughbreds. Like, in my mind, I was your Section 8 student, even though I paid the same amount as everybody else. Like, the mindset portion of like being able to achieve your goals is so influential.
And Section 8, I'm not aware of that.
Oh, like, you know, like a welfare. Like,
Oh, see, I don't even
because like
think...
so many of your clients were like doctors or lawyers. And so it was always like, oh, like I always was like, oh, I feel less than. And so I always I always appreciated you because you were always like, you know, everybody rides the same. Everybody has like different horses, but you've always like, you know, trained so many different breeds of horses and so many different body types of riders to get farther, which you don't always see because like, you know, you see a lot of the ballerina riders that look like ballerinas on horseback and skinny and stuff. And so it was always helpful for me because I'm like, you know, we talked about like you used to joke about coming from peasant stock and I come from warriors. I'm like, we're not going to look like ballerinas on horses.
But we can still be athletes.
But we can still be athletes and we can still
feel.
have horses, and it doesn't even matter how much they are because you had started with the thoroughbreds as well, which I always appreciated just because not everybody's going to have the warm bloods.
That's right. And that's really it. I mean, I want everybody, try to help everybody grow as people, but also to make their relationship with their horses better, whether that's through judging or through teaching or through training.
Yeah.
That's really always been my goal. And I love working with everybody. I mean, all types, like you said, all types of breeds and types of horses. And, you know, their talent didn't and still doesn't matter to me. Of course, I love doing this, you know, high level stuff. That's really fun. Who doesn't love that? But I still get just as much joy out of teaching lower level lessons and people and horses that have no huge dreams or super talent, because I just love helping them be better and having a better relationship with their animal.
Right. Now, like one of my mental blocks with her, because I'm brown and my name's Maria, is that people would think at dressage shows that I was the one that had like the Mexican dancing horse because she would curl. And I'm like, oh my God, they're just going to think that I'm like uneducated.
But it's interesting with you talking about your perception coming from a different ethnic background, because I don't even think about that. And I'm not saying people do or don't, because obviously I live a different life from my ethnic background, but I never think about a person, their body shape or what their ethnic background is. I just am looking for how they ride. And I feel like my colleagues do that too. You know, I do. And I guess it must be different if you've lived in a life where you felt you get looked at sometimes differently.
Yeah.
But I would urge you to know, when you're out there, it does not matter about your body type, your gender, your ethnic background. It matters about how you ride.
Right. Well, I love that about the dressage, like, you know, before they changed the rules and got super flashy, but I was like, you couldn't tell when everybody's out there in the black and whites. Like, It was nice when you finally got out there, but...
I know their hair bun.
Yeah. But you know what's interesting? When you're judging, you want a person tidily and safely turned out, but you're not looking at the color, the bridle and saddle match, how much did they spend on their boots, the bling or the lack of bling. You're not looking at any of that. You are looking at the performance and the communication and the correctness of the training and the riding. That's it.
Which is so nice.
It doesn't matter about all that. You're right. I mean, that's why there was a big fight not to go like public school, right? Or where they have uniforms, to keep it all the same. But in the end, and all the old school was worried, oh, if we're going to allow all this, what's going to happen? But in the end, we are seeing as judges less bling than we thought we were going to overall. I mean, there's still lots of blingies, but in the end, it's not changing anything about how people ride and what they do. You know, it isn't. I mean, it's still being evaluated on the riding.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be. I mean, I think there's a serious lack of people of color in our sport, but I think that has more to do with economics and what sports different people pursue, and that I feel they're very welcome in our sport, and that that isn't part of what's being looked at ever.
I think the funny thing is that, like, it's funny, my perception, because I'm more of a wallflower, like I have been more of a wallflower in the past,
And so like being a wallflower, you tend to hear things from the walls, you know what I mean? And I think like, my own perception comes from like the things that you hear from other riders and even some of the kids at like some of the horse shows, the little birds that are like, oh my God, did you see blah, 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 blah. And so like that just transferred in my mind over there like, oh, to the judges, because that's your job to judge.
Yeah.
But
I mean, people are people, and we all live with those people in our life. And,
And you were great at like always just boosting my confidence in that way. And you're like, it doesn't matter. Like if you're the only one in the class who showed up.
That's right. You won.
Right.
You got there. You made it that day.
Right.
My ideal coach may be different from what your needs are. So you may have to ask yourself some different questions. Some questions that you may ask yourself are, what are your goals? What are your equestrian goals? Either on the ground, in the cart, in the saddle, in life. What part of the horse journey do you need help with? So like, do you need help with equitation, horsemanship, balance, the rules of the game, all that jazz? Do you need more help learning? And does your horse need more help learning? And does your trainer allow training rides? Do they do training rides? What discipline are you focusing on? What kind of learning schedule do you need? So do you need to be a weekly lesson student? I know that I do better with more consistent lessons, and I stay on track much better that way. What learning style do you have? Like, do you watch lessons and are you able to learn that way? Do you need more hands-on help? Do you need a kinder coach, or do you need somebody to kick your butt? Do you have any breed-specific requirements for your coaching? So say you want to ride quarter horses or Friesians or whatever. Where is your coach located? Like, do you want to do your lessons at home? Do you need somebody to travel to you? Are you able to do virtual lessons, which is a great option these days to give you access to some of the top trainers in the world, actually? And what kind of credentials does your trainer have? Do they have insurance? And also, do they have referrals available? So do people enjoy their training, and can they back them?
Now let's have a bit of a chat of questions and considerations when finding a new horse trainer. Some of the questions that you might be able to ask your trainer are, how long have they been training for? Kind of ask them what their training disciplines, backgrounds, and philosophies are, where they kind of learned the training game from. Another thing you can ask is, what's your favorite part of the training process? I kind of like to learn how trainers like to think and their kind of progression as far as training and accomplishments. What do you think your biggest strengths as a coach are? It's interesting to kind of hear what people feel like their strengths are. Do you have any references? Can I actually audit some of your lessons? This is a great way to interview your new coach, is by watching lessons. Do you have lesson horses available? So some of you may not have your own horses available, but sometimes it is really nice to feel something different on a school horse that knows a bit better than you do, which can be super humbling. Do you allow Hollands to your facility to ride? Are you available to come to my location? And do you do virtual lessons? So this definitely plays into location in terms of like where a trainer is located and how they might be able to help you. Are you actively involved in showing? So do they currently go to shows, or is their experience from kind of back in the day? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's nice to know who is kind of up to date with all of the new rules and changes that are going on in the show world. Do you have an upcoming list of events, shows, clinics, and trips? It's kind of great, especially if you're one of those type A people that really likes to plan out your year in advance, to know when your coach might be out of town. How much do you charge per lesson session? And do you offer packages? Sometimes it's nice to be able to get a package deal, especially in the horse world. Things get expensive. How much are training rides, and do you offer training rides? I personally like having a trainer that I can see get on my horse and show me things every once in a while because I'm a very visual learner. Not everybody will do those things, but that's kind of something that I like for personally for myself. One of the other things I'll ask is, do you have a vet, farrier, bodyworker, chiropractor that you like using, etc.? I really just like to know that for my own training philosophy, that the person I'm working with also has a similar philosophy as far as like, you know, if you want them to run like a Ferrari, we have to treat them like a Ferrari. And knowing that everybody can kind of work together, because not everybody is a fan of the woo-woo, like bodywork stuff, but I am, so here we go.
Yeah.
Well, a big thanks to Kari McClain for letting us interview her today. Check her out at www.miaristables.com and catch you later.